Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Palantir price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. Starting on the all-time history, here we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toward the upside potential wave A and another impulse toward the downside. Yeah, which we cannot call it a wave B, passing the low, even double impulses in reversal position. And that means, of course, that the market first found psychology again here to move toward the downside, and now one more time again finding a new psychology for higher prices. That means preferably that we start to count, of course, our impulse toward the upside here from this point. Of course, I'm always keep this in mind as well as a different scenario in case you have an A, B, and a C expanding flat toward the upside, but you have to consider that those are, of course, W, X, and a Y, both of them. Yeah, so that is the issue here. However, starting from here, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3. We're looking for a wave 4, and we're looking for a wave 3 in the white right now. To finish, of course, in a wave 5 for this yellow scenario. And that means, of course, we're looking at several 4 and a 5 still to finish, of course, a major wave A potentially here as an impulse, or, of course, a wave 1, or as well a wave C, which is, of course, this possible ABC. And then, of course, in all case scenarios, we have to move to the downside. So basically, right now, inside this area, we are looking at this wave 4, of course, in the yellow, where we have hit so far as an expanding flat, or WX and a Y. We're going to check this, of course, in close. So we can see, of course, the following price action here after having 3 waves down. A very high move toward the upside for wave B, and then, of course, looking for lower one more time again. Now, it can be, of course, that we simply finished here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, this impulse, well, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, but very, very tiny wave 4 regarding the wave 2 here. In time, it doesn't really so much match, but what it match is the alternation of the deep wave 2 and the flat and shallow wave 4. So we can consider it. Anyway, in this case scenario, you are looking as well for 3 corrective waves. So in all case scenarios, whether you have finished here a WX and a Y bigger one, or if you are, of course, in an ABC here, finished structure potentially, and you're moving toward the upside. Right now, we saw, of course, this potential wave 4 in the yellow, and AB and a C finished, and we're looking for a potential leading diagonal. And that because, of course, on the 1 hour chart here, we can see, of course, a formation, kind of a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. It can be a wave 1, and you're looking right now for kind of a wave 2. However, a wave 2 needs at least this, of course, a fib level to say, okay, that we have reached the requirements for a wave 2 and then moving towards the upside. However, this still even doesn't look very impulsive towards the downside. It looks corrective, and that means, of course, giving higher potential that we have bottomed, seeing 5 waves up, and of course corrective wave, meaning yeah, that is a potential to continue towards the upside. However, let's say this is corrective 3 waves down, you're looking for something up as a 3 waves, maybe one more move for a wave C, and then start continuation toward the upside, but preferably again to hit the 0.38. Otherwise, this is going to be considered so far a wave B, as A, B, and a C corrective, right? And then continuation toward the downside in this case. So we would like to see much more clarity in this case, of course, for Palantir. We would like to see, of course, a 0.38 hit as A, B, and a C potentially, and then, of course, at least moving for a wave 3. It can be an impulse, of course, in this case, because preferably if you are in a diagonal or leading a diagonal here, it is preferably to see, of course, even deeper correction for a wave 2, somehow between the 0.618, 0.5 fib level. Yeah, so these are the potentials for Palantir. Basically, I would still look for lower, at least $84, and then to start to think, of course, to move for higher, whether in an impulse or in a leading diagonal wave 3, preferably, of course, to dive deeper in this case. We're gonna see, of course, we're gonna get some answers. If we hit here, therefore expect a wave 3 in impulse. If we hit lower than 0.38, you can expect, of course, a wave 3 in leading diagonal. Yep, so that was it for Palantir. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.